Okay, welcome. Hopefully you can hear me okay. If not, type in the little chat box there. But in the meantime, I will get going. Still a few more to join us. Don't know where they all are. Quite a few people have booked. Anyway, welcome to Scalper School. Let's just get this out of the way. And I'm going to talk very briefly about what we do in Scalper School and what we do in this live trading room that I run. And then I'm going to run through a few live trades and talk about, invite you to join us because we've got the next program is on Saturday. And so just going to give you a little bit of background about how we scalp, why we scalp, but talking just around live charts rather than, I'm not going to bore you with slides. So one of the things I did today was we run a 5-day chat room. So this chat room's around from Monday morning till end of Friday. And then we've got the live trading room is active 6 sessions of the week. So what I'm showing you here is a snippet from today's chat room. So this is 6 minutes past 2 UK time, and I said I was watching the DAX for a buy at 535, having problems with the Dow because it was taking a long time to set up, but I was watching beans and oil. So let me show you what I'm looking at. So all those 4 markets, I'm just going to show you what I was looking at, and then we can take a look at what the prospects are in a market like this. So yeah, so like I said, I traded DAX, Dow, oil and beans today. So let's just go through that. This is the Dow. Let's start with the oil because oil was very interesting. This is a 2-hour chart on the oil. This is not what I was trading off, but it's certainly what I was using as a reference point. Now, the reason why I was using this as a reference point is because I traded oil, on average, I trade it about once or twice a week, so it's not a common scalp market for me, but I do like it every now and again. And you can see we had all these pushes up here, nice, relatively steady push up on this 2-hour chart. Then we start selling off, but each time we sell off, we move into support. So I'll show you where I think support is. So it's pretty much, so we lost the support down here, but when we did break down underneath it, we immediately closed back up. So that's really bullish to me. I was watching these levels here at 55.50. We dropped all the way down to 54.75. So I wasn't put off by this. If anything, it made me more interested in oil. The fact that we broke down over it took a long time to break down, but the fact we broke down and then immediately broke back up within the same day, it said to me that there are a lot of buyers down here picking up trades. So today, what did I do today? Invents today. And let me show you how I marked off invents. This was the pre-inventory. The invents come out at 2:30 UK time at the moment. Normally 3:30, but there's only 4 hours difference between GMT and Eastern time. So this was the price before invents came out. Invents came out and we shot up here. So we gapped up and moved higher. But look what happened about 2.5 hours later. We drifted down right to this point here. And here we are, not breaking up through this high. So this is typical oil, absolutely typical oil, and it's also, you can actually use this setup on an important day-to-day like Fed Day ordinarily. So if the initial direction is up, let me just clear this because it's got really messy. If the initial direction is up, then I want to buy a pullback and then trade it back to where it came from and hopefully get a breakout. Okay, so it's a very, very simple setup. The only slight downside is it's taken 2.5 hours to set up. If you notice how it's literally on the point or to the pip on that pre-data level. So that's very, very common. When it ran up here, I actually trailed my stop up. So I got stop. I took the profit about there. I've not gone back in it here. I'm just happy with that. So I got that much profit. Actually, I got in a bit higher than that. Got that much profit. So it's not a huge amount, but it's certainly, in terms of futures contracts, that's quite a nice little income. And so you can see what I did on the, so I posted that on the chat room. And so you can see that. If you look at my 1 hour chart, you can see how I've zoned it. And I was interested, but got really messy here yesterday. But as we're coming, it actually kicked off in the Euro session. So if you were trading this in the Euro session, you could have got 57.39. So it's taken all half a day to do 100 pips. So it's in this environment, it's not a trailblazer. It's not a, you're not going to make your fortune on oil, but you can make a healthy income just by picking this particular point in the week. Of course, you can trade it intra-week if you get a nice 4 hour setup, but they don't often come along. So there's my 4 hour chart, and you can see very few opportunities to swing trade it. The opportunities that are there are around, well, once you get this leg up here, then you start to get dinks in the 4 hour chart that are all tradable, but they are quite, they're sort of 1 to 2 days apart, sometimes even a week apart. So you're not going to get many opportunities to trade on that one. This is interesting because you make a new high up here. So you make a new high, and yet they go right back down to this decent support. So that is a lovely setup there. If you're busy and working, 4 hour charts and setups like this are perfect. And that's what the chat room's for, to try to identify these setups and try and work out. So there's the big drop, followed by the trend confirmation signal. So we drop off, come out of the zone that I was looking at, only to go right back in the zone, and currently up here. So we could potentially see 60 this week. Now it's triple witching. Do you guys understand what triple witching is? Just, Y for yes, N for no. Okay. Triple witching is where not only stock options, but futures and indice options all finish on the same Friday. So it generates, that you basically got billions of dollars, or maybe not billions, but hundreds of millions of dollars lined up on key pivots. So you sometimes get, so a key pivot for oil could be $60. Let's look at that. Let's look at that on the Dow. In fact, let's just switch to the Dow and see how the Dow was tradable today. So there is my 4 hour chart. and you get a buy signal in the beginning on Monday this week. So you get a new low in this range and an immediate close above it on the open on Monday. So we've got, that was the initial move, that's the pullback, and now that's lining up. Now I have to be honest, I did attempt to short this because there was a lot of resistance up here. I did get about 20-30 pips on the books and trailed it down. So I did actually, I made a profit out of shorting this, which is a bit disgraceful considering how nicely it's moved up. But I found the open very tricky today. So let's just talk about basic scalping now. So we've talked about scalping on inventories on oil. So here's the Dow on the 5-minute scalper system, and it basically took a long time to set up. But all we're doing is we're marking the first 5-minute range and we're trading the direction that it goes in. So it actually triggers long, then it triggers short within the first about 30 minutes, I think. And then we break up. Then we come back into, this is where I was trying to short it. Trail stopped it into there, and then we, about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, about an hour and a half after we opened up, we started closing on top of the range, and then we get an initial move. And then consequently, all, most pullbacks are getting bought. Okay, so that's what we were doing for the that's what I was looking at for the Dow. Unfortunately, I was on the wrong side of this Dow. I didn't pick it up. I did, however. I told you that I traded the DAX today. Well, I also got I shorted it here. I had 10 pips on the books and gave it back a little bit more. But I did eventually get the right side of this DAX. So I posted this in the room. I said, if this DAX closed above here, that DAX closed above 35, then I would be a buyer. And that's exactly what happened. So it's taken many hours to set up today. This was the Euro session, really tatty, very, very slow. I mean, the number of points between these lows and this high is literally only about barely about 40 pips, which is not much good in terms of several hours of trading, that is. But as soon as we get one break up here, we pull back and then we run. So it's this that I was looking at, and that's what I took. So I actually got a decent chunk out of that in the end. So I got minus 12 down here and plus about 55, 60 up here. So one stop out and one winner. But the winner is significantly bigger than the stop out. And that's, as anybody who's been trading for any length of time, which I'm sure some of you, most of you have, if not all of you, that's the name of the game. So I can be wrong once, twice, maybe even more during a day and still make money. The trick is to absolutely minimize your losses and be very clear about where your potential profits could come from. Okay? So I wished, I'm increasingly thinking that I should just trade the Dow all day, because this was, if I traded this all day and marked off the Euro session start here, where are we? Here. This is the Euro session. That's the range in the Euro session. And so this did what the DAX did, but the DAX took hours to do. This did it in, it's so bullish, it did it in the Euro session. So we broke up at 8:30. We were still hovering around there about 15 minutes later. Did a move, pulled back, didn't quite retrace all the way back down to that breakout area. And then eventually, we're very close to the highs even now. So it's about 775 up there. So the actual entry point was 523. So there's at least a couple hundred pips available in this market had you traded that in the Euro session. Yeah, I'm seriously considering. I think it's worth just trading both. Just looking at the DAX and considering taking a small position in the Dow, and then if it behaves itself, you could if you could trade this down here, get your stop to break even and leave it, and then trade it afresh up here. So had we done that, you would have had that amount of profit from the Euro session. You could have ring-fenced at least that profit and then started trading in here. And even now, like I said, we're not that far off. Once the Dow gets its move, it sits up very nicely. That's just a trade idea anyway, just a trade idea. But it's interesting how, if you just clean that chart off, the whole move actually came from the Euro session, not the US session. So US traders have missed out. Beans. Now these are, and when I started trading beans, they were incredibly volatile, and you could make good money on just trading beans. That volume and that opportunity is not here at the moment. So if you're not used to trading beans, just forget about it, because indices are much easier and better to manage. But let's just look at the beans anyway. See, the beauty of the beans is the pits. When I started trading beans, it shows you how long time ago I've been trading it now. The beans pits would open at, now let me remember, I think it was 2 o'clock UK time, I'm sure it was, and then they would close at 7:30 PM, and they used to have limit barriers. Used to have barriers in these markets. So if you traded beans and it moved more than 70 pips, the market would just shut down. Absolutely, just shut down immediately when it triggered over 70 cents. And likewise, if it dropped under 70 cents, now this is the old pits. It doesn't happen now. But if it dropped below 70 cents, the market would shut down. So when I traded the beans in the run-up to the big sort of commodity boom of 06-07, there were 3 days in a row where the beans went what's called limit up. So we had, on day 1, you got a big 70-cent move, market shut. Day 2, the markets must have literally opened for a blink of an eye. It shot to 70 pips and the market shut. Day 3, blink of an eye, markets move up 70 cents, market shut. So if you were in this down here, you would have got a $2.10 move in a market that you couldn't access. Now, just a bit of history there anyway. Anyway, the volume, I'm digressing. The volume in the beans is not the same, but it is still good. If you look at this on a 4-hour chart, here's my zone. It didn't get down so we broke up here on December 28. Lovely move. to eventually get up to $9.35. But look what happens down here. You get this could apply to any market here. You get this big slide, but then you get a three-wave reversal pattern. So we come right into this. Don't quite get down as low as 885, but we get a new low and immediate close higher. So that's your buy signal there, and that's your pullback. Notice how, now we've got this signal here. This move is significant. So buy signal. A lot of traders missed out on it, so it pulls back. Now everybody's interested, lots of orders down there, and now we're pushing higher. So my target for beans is actually $9.50. When it started breaking down and not behaving down here, I did scale out some profit here and then scale back in here. I was hoping to get above $9 today, but we're struggling. So just thought that I'd share that with you, because again, that's another 4-hour chart. Doesn't give many entries, but when it does give entries, they're generally pretty good. This was a good area here. Wave 1. Anybody interested in the Elliott wave? If you're not familiar with the Elliott wave, Mr. Elliott in the 1930s studied the Dow, and he realized that once you had an impulsive move, you generally get an impulsive move after a lot of selling. Here's the market selling, 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 and then suddenly wham, over a period of a few days it pushes up. And he realized that after an impulsive move, the market drifts back down to a support area. So that's wave 1. This was wave 2. And wave 3 tends to be a good, strong, impulsive wave. So that's wave 3. Now, so after you've had a 3-wave move, you can often get a 4 and a 5-wave move, and then you get a 3-wave correction. So so you get another dip, another push up. Market's tired, exhausted, not interested up there. So what do? They do a 1, 2, 3-wave pullback. And then the whole thing, in theory, starts again. And you should get another 5. If this is really bullish, we should get a 5 and 3-wave move. So this could be indices, it could be anything. Why am I telling you this? Because if you're scalping, this can occur in a scalping time frame as well. You can get a 3-wave move in a 5-minute chart. So this, you can scale this down and you can scale it up. So, okay, if that's a 5 and 3-wave complete move, in theory, we could get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave move up to here. Or ideally up to, yeah, I like to get a 5-wave move up to 950. And then we get a 3-wave move potentially down to, if this all works out, $9.35, or this support could get seen again. And then we could, if it's very bullish, we'll close back above here and then wind up to $9.70 and maybe even $10. My very long-term projection for beans is about $12 based on this weekly chart here. So this is how my weekly chart's drawn up. I'll come back to scalping in a second, so just bear with me. Notice how I talked about this in the context of oil. Notice how we have this main support here, and on this move here we breach it, but we get back very quick. We get back fairly quickly. This is a weekly chart, so we're talking about weeks. So we've hit the top of this zone and pulled back, but if we can break out the top of this zone, then I would expect to see $10 and ultimately $12. Okay, that's just a bit about how my sort of setups I use, sort of analysis I use, and so on. Right, let's get back to scalping. So what else can I show? This is viable in Forex. So let's have a look at, if you're a Forex trader and you want to scalp, you want to, maybe you've got a swing trade position, you can still scalp around a swing trade position. So let's have a look at the 5 minute today. So this is the London Open. London is still the centre of the Forex market. So we trigger long at just after 9 o'clock. We pull back at 10 o'clock. This 10:30 tends to be European reversal time. So we pull up at 10:30, shallow pullbacks around 11 o'clock, and we've been pushing up ever since. So there's your range. There's your 5 minute London Open range. We do a little breach underneath, but immediately close back up. Then we sit on top of this range, and then ultimately over hours trickle up. Make sense? So you can scalp Forex. No reason why at all you cannot. No reason why you shouldn't scalp Forex. And there you are. So on Saturday, let me just call this up. On Saturday we have a Scalper School program. So if you go to tradeeasyway.com, come down here to start Scalper School. And if you want to join us on Saturday, it's 4 hours, 9:30 till roughly 1 o'clock, maybe slightly over. We have simulated trading sessions. We have all the rules and regulations and what we call a golden anchor. That's really, really essential. The golden anchor is the real crux of what goes on in Scalper School. And so that's all. So we literally program you to automate your trading in scalping in a 4-hour program, and then once you come out of that, then you can join the live trading room and the chat room. Yeah, the oil was great. So the next one's on Saturday, and then the following one is the 27th of April. Now this is 77% successful. That's not me saying that. This is a member who joined 3 or 4 years ago now. Was a professional engineer in a previous career, so very, very good at using data. And he collated 9 months worth of data on DAX and Dow, and went through. He said there were 8% of occasions where there were no trades, 13% got stopped out, but 77% worked. And of those 77% that were successful, I think something like 60% go on to make more than 50 pips. So if you're interested, I'll send you the link for that. Let me just clear this. Got some bookings already. We've got a good number of people booked in already. So if you would like to join them and find out what we do in this scalping market, then this is a good opportunity to get involved. If you'd like to talk to me about it, that's fine. Give me a ring. Let me know your number, and we can arrange a time to chat. So this is the oil. Looks pretty messy, doesn't it? But it's still climbing. Even the pullback into that range is working nicely. Any questions? Any questions at all? So the Dow is messing around a bit here. Well, I say messing around, it's pulling back. Ooh, I wonder what's going on here. It's surprising that this market has held up so well, considering that this is the key player. This impacts 11% of the Dow. It's a major slice of the Dow. This is Boeing. So after the accident in Africa, wasn't it? Was it Ethiopia? After the accident, this is Boeing coming right off. I said today, I thought we might pull back to 388 before we drop. We pull back to 382, and we look as if we could potentially break the lows here. So this is why this appears to be why the Dow is getting dragged down, because this is such a major component. So you can see why I was attempting to short the Dow early today, because of this. That was a major influence in my decision to try and short the Dow. And unfortunately, it looks like I was shorting it a little too early in the day. Had I waited, then, and not been talking to you, very happy to talk to you guys. But there you are, double top, 770 roughly, and we are currently 100 pips down and falling. Okay, Alan, thank you very much for joining us, but I'm just about to sum up actually, because we've talked about why I traded oil today, talked about pound US dollar and beans and DAX. So I'll send you the recording. You can all have a look at the recording if you're interested. So yeah, I tried to short up here and just got in there too early. Was it there? I think, yeah, it must have been there. Trail stopped it down, broke up. It's pretty feeble push higher actually, isn't it? Still time to get in this. I think we're going to come down to this level here, at least 568. Maybe it'll do it even while we're talking. Okay, right, I'm going to finish up. Don't want to keep you guys for too long, so I've not bored you with any slides. Anybody going to join us on Saturday? Don't forget, yeah, you got the link for this. Click the register button. Actually, if you go straight to the PayPal button, I can grab all your details just from the PayPal. But if you want to fill this in first, submit, and then come back to the PayPal button, then we can get you booked in. All right. Now I run these classes always kept small. Always kept small. So there's plenty of opportunity when we do the simulated trading on the Saturday. Plenty of opportunity for you to take part and ask a lot of questions, go through the check sheets, go through the system, and then see if we can then make sure that you are absolutely happy about how Scalp School works. Okay, just look at the oil. What a lovely move. So look, if you bought, so this picture perfect entry down here, literally to the pip, the entry I described down here would have generated, that was, obviously this is just a retail platform. It's not the futures contract for any of you who are trading the actual futures. So this is 57.96. We're just coming in for 100 pips now. And that triggered nearly 430, so it's taken a couple of hours and you could have taken a couple of slices out of it. There's slice 1, there's slice 2, and 3. Looks as if it's going to be a nice impulse move. Like I said, I think we're going to go to 59 today, and if we get a pullback tomorrow, I think we could do 60. All right, so that is great. Oh, right, okay. Interesting that oil is going mad after that grounding of the Boeing then. I think the US are the last nation to, last developed world nation to ground them, I think. Not quite sure. I think the reason why you don't need to know why oil's going up. I think the reason why oil's going up is because Venezuela is a major producer, and obviously the politics in Venezuela is not great right now, and the taps are being turned off in Venezuela. I can't even say it. So the invents today have produced this move. That's why I only trade oil for 2 or 3 times a week normally. If it sets up on Monday, that can be a good period. Then I'll wait to the invents, and then I'll look at it at the back end of the week, because tomorrow obviously it's the day after invents. So if we do get a breakout, then 58. Obviously, I'm going to look for 58 tomorrow to see if we can bust up towards 60 on Friday. Right. There's no questions coming in. A really good session, guys. Thanks for joining me. It's good just to do these midweek sessions just for you all to catch up with a reminder of how we scalp in the trading room, and a quick look at how you've got to handle your account today if you are day trading, and prospects for the rest of the week. So the rest of the week I will be definitely looking at oil tomorrow, trying to get 60 bucks into the back end of the week. Indices are proving to be quite choppy this week, but not unusual given triple witching on Friday. But nice and volatile, very, very nice and volatile. So you can see my 60-minute charts. I was hoping, I said when I did my video on Sunday, I was hoping for that just to knock into that area there for a short. So at the moment we are just shy of that. It was we had a decent fly up on Monday. Quite a horrible grind to the downside yesterday. But that's taken quite a while. Most of this was done in the Euro session, so it's not hardly surprising the Americans are dragging it down because they missed out on some of the better prices. Right, thanks very much. Let me know if you want any more information. I will be doing this again next Wednesday, so please join me next Wednesday. We'll look at the key markets again. Any stock traders before we go? Any stock traders? Just bear in mind, if you are a Dow trader, just bear in mind the importance of that Boeing. Just keep a track on that if you are trading the Dow. Right, brilliant. Thank you very much. I'm hungry now, so I'm going to go and get some dinner. Because it's, I presume all of you in the UK. Anybody outside the UK? Certainly had some registrations from outside the UK. Not sure. In fact, a few people in the room are from outside the UK. All right. Okay. Well, thanks again. I will send you the recording. I'll make sure everybody gets the recording, and so you can go through it and take a look at the sort of setups I'm talking about. And let's see if we can make some more money. Right, thank you very much, and have a good evening. Don't forget to log in next week So I'll send you a reminder about next week. Thank you. Bye for now.